Have you ever thought about not only making a good living, but making a good life? When your journey in life is over, what can you take with you? What is really important? I believe my message today will give you food for thought and questions to ponder, so it will help you make a good quality decision. I look back in my life and the steps I have taken to try and keep priorities in order. But sometimes life gets in the way and it does not happen. But if I can regroup, collect my thoughts, and achieve balance once again, these keys are valuable. When my mother passed away, I was on the airplane going home. And I heard the Lord speak to me as clearly as I'm speaking to you. Carole, why do you think you are here on this earth? I just listened. He said, you can only take relationships with you. And the people in your life are there for a reason. Watch how you treat them and the seeds that you plant. Aha, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When I remember that, I do not attract snotty people. I have also learned that do not be obsessed with anything. If I am obsessed with something, and that's all I can think about, it becomes an idol in my life. So, what controls you? What has you? Or are you control of it to keep the balance? At one time in my life, I lived and breathed business. That's all I could think about. Until I finally realized that family, people in my life, and people around me were more important. We all need to make a good living, but my goal was to make a good life and make a difference. I have been dancing since I was 3 years old. My mother was a natural-born dancer. One day, 8 years ago, I was on the dance floor and I caught myself in the mirror. And out of me I heard, boy, you are good. I was shocked and appalled. I thought, where did that come from? I was going down a road I did not want to go. So I went home, I regrouped, I stayed away from dancing for 1 month. When I went back, I found I loved it, but it didn't have me. I was in control of it. Sometimes in our lives, we are misunderstood. Arguments creep in due to strife with different personalities and people. I choose to remember that to let it go and forgive. When I do this, I have a better attitude, peaceful heart, and I let God do all the rest. Remember, forgiveness is a choice, not a feeling. Let me say this one more time. Forgiveness is a choice, not a feeling. Lastly, I will leave you with this testimony. 14 years ago, my husband and I divorced. He was supposed to pay me half of the business. He was a jeweler, but he did not. He left for overseas. Instead, he left my youngest son, who was a jeweler, like his dad, with the debt and creditors with the business. I thought I had forgiven him until one day a lovely Christian man came to Colorado Springs, as he does every year. My friend housed about 40 people in her house to listen to this gentleman. I was one of them sitting there. He comes through and he stands up and he says, before I give my message, I cannot shake the name Rocky. Is there someone here with that name? I reluctantly thought, oh my God. The hair on my arms just stood straight up. I stood up with pure drudgery. And I said, well, my ex-husband was called Rocky. A friend of ours in the church named him that. And I sat back down. He said, please stand back up. And he started to bless Mike one side and down the other for 15 minutes. I thought, doesn't he know what he's done? Doesn't he know he's a toad? So much for forgiveness. I sat back down. He says, would you please stand back up? And then he said, would you repeat after me? And he started blessing Mike. And again, that drudgery came upon me. And gravel was in my mouth. I could hardly say the words. Until I kept saying them and blessing them and saying them until I was totally free. My heart was free. And I believed every word of the blessing that I prayed for Mike. 2 days later, I get a phone call. Hello? Carole, please don't hang up. I don't know why I'm calling, but I need to find out how you and the boys are doing. I said, oh, Mike, we are doing wonderful. And I said, do you have a moment? He said, yes. I went and got the blessing, Toastmasters. I wrote it down word by word, verbatim. And I read it to Mike. And when it was done, silence. And then he said, Carole, you did that for me. And I said, yes, Mike, it was my pleasure. I thought, who is this woman? Friends, it was a miracle. Only God could do that when we choose to forgive. To this day, Mike and I are good friends, thanks to our boys as well, and for our boys. As I tell this testimony over and over and over to many people, I still get choked up. Why? Because it was such a miracle in my life. So I say this, yes, we need to do hard work. We need to make a living. But making a life